Good morning. It is January 25 of 25, and this is take two on this here video that I was trying to make. I got sidetracked the other day. Went and did something else, but we're back now, so we're going to start over. So we're in front of the D2, and as you can see, I got those pieces that lift the blade up. They're I cut them off of the track frames. Pretty rusty down there. We'll pan through that later, but yeah, long story. Tried cutting them off and running to the acetylene, and then got that, and then plugged up my nozzle and cleaned off the nozzle there with the little tip cleaners. Broke one of them off in there, destroyed the nozzle. Long story short, I had to go get a new nozzle, and then I ran out of oxygen. So it took a couple of days to come back to, and finally got that cut off, and all the pieces are laying over onto the side there. That's what I'm talking about. All them lifting arms apparatus cut off both sides of either track frame. They're panning over here. They're just laying in the snow right there. And I'm going to take them along with, if you can see way in the distance, the canopy is upside down full of the rest of the scrap iron. And we will use the Clark when it's freed up and take that stuff down to the train station. Meanwhile, in the last video on the cat here, I'd removed the engine, and I'm intending to tear it down, pull the crank out, and see if I can pop the pistons through the bottom one at a time with the crank out of the way. And pretty much I think not the engine so much, but probably the liners and maybe the pistons are a little bit destroyed. They're not, they're so corroded and pitted, they're not really worth too much of anything. So I'll probably have to look for another engine or some parts somehow or another. Anticipating that the engine is good. But we're going to start with the back end here first. I'm going to go ahead and get the Clark started up, and we're going to raise it back up to working height, but I'm going to start with that flywheel down there. I'm going to take out the pilot bearing, plus remove the flywheel and pump her full of grease, get some grease inside that flywheel. I got to find out where the darn grease zerk is. So anyway, we'll get that picked up, and we'll remove that flywheel. Pretty cold morning here. I got 4 or 5 below, and you can hear in the distance the Clark is running, so I had to start it just to raise up the engine here. So I'm just going to let it sit and run in the background there, warm up, bring it up to temperature. Meanwhile, I get that pilot bearing out of there. I was expecting a leather lip or something like that. It looks like a good kind of a seal. It's not even packed with grease, and it's cold. So probably the last time it was greased, never. Look at that. It's a little on the red side, but I think I'm going to oil her up and wash it up, grease it up, and it's going to get reused. I got the fold-over locks off of those 6 flywheel bolts. Got them bent back, so we'll just zip them right off there. I think she's free. Okay, that's out of there. Right full of mouse nest. Looking at the back of the flywheel, this is the grease port that feeds grease into the bearing, and there is no grease in there at all. And on this side of the flywheel, this is the hole here that's supposed to have a grease zerk in it, and there's just nothing but a broken off stub in there, and again, no evidence of grease. So I'm going to dig that hole out, put a grease zerk in there, and see how many pumps it takes to get grease in there. It's totally empty. I don't think it was ever greased in its lifetime. Okay, I spent the last little bit of time working with this port for the zerk. It was a broken off zerk in there, which had a little bit of effort on my cordless. I got a left-handed bit, tried to extract it. It just drilled right through the material. So now I got still the same broken off zerk in there, but hollowed out. And I managed to run this tap, which is regular bolt thread, into the inside of that zerk, and captured the end of it. And luckily, as you can see, I pulled it out. Sometimes you just get lucky. So it's full of debris now that I've played with it like that. So I'm going to blow it out. And there you could see, I don't know if you could see it on the camera, but air blew straight through there, just hollow. No grease in the passage at all, and it hit the back dirt there, backstop, blew the debris up there. So I know that's clear. So I robbed this here zerk off the D2, off the steering clutches, just because I just don't have any new ones here. And that just threads right in there. So that's what it was originally, and somehow or another they broke it off, or somebody broke it off, and I believe since new, because there's no grease in the passage. That's totally amazing to me. But anyway, I'm going to go get a grease gun, and we'll see if we can grease her up. Move some of my tools off here. I'll get a grease gun and pump her full of grease, see what happens. I think it's taking grease. There's grease coming out of the port. Well, going to be an improvement when we get her back together. At least we'll be able to grease that bearing. Okay, now that we got that flywheel dealt with the grease passage, I was thinking, like, it did not have any grease in it, but it couldn't have been from brand new, because the condition of the fold over locks tell me that they've been opened up at least twice already. This will be the third time, so they're pretty much shot. And yeah, so somebody in there had to replace a flywheel or do something, put a new bearing in, whatever they did, but then they never fixed up the grease channel and they never greased it. There's been some real damage done to this bell housing. This whole corner has been broke off. This rod that functions, that Bendix engager arm, that's been monkeyed with. It's got a hole in it and some small bolt wedged into it. I don't know, it's been broken. I don't know what's been going on there. Something's serious anyway. Plus it's pretty wobbly, so the bushing is worn out. And then something was going on with the Bendix. Whenever they're trying to start the diesel, it would kick that Bendix out. So they just kept riding this on there by hand and just tore it all apart. So anyway, let's get after taking this. I got to take it off. Take this off, so I can stand it up and lay it flat on its face. So I got to replace that anyway, so might as well take it right out of there. Well, that's off there. Just got to get a, I didn't have to take that bolt right out of there. I thought it was recessed into the shaft. Got to get a side cutter so I can pull that key out of there, throw that ahead. Oh, look at that, it's so worn out. No, it's not really worn out. That's a bigger shaft than here, so it's all fine. It's all working out. This comes out, it's all busted. Let's see if I can twist this bushing out of here. Normally that's a brass bushing. This looks like aluminum. All right. Okay, that's looking a little bit better, so we can go ahead and remove all the bolts off here, get that bell housing out of there. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 bolts, I think it is. Some got fold over locks, which are totally destroyed. Others, no locks left, and they used regular lock washers. So yeah, that's been, the whole engine's been opened up a couple of times for sure. So maybe that pilot bearing only didn't have grease for the last 30 years maybe, instead of 80. I just know I better go and put that battery on the charger, but we got all these bolts off. Now we'll just tap her free and get that bell housing off there. I got to take all the bolts off. From the other side, there's 4 more bolts from the oil pan side coming. So I better take them off too. There, it should come off once you get all the bolts out. A little bit better. I don't know how heavy this is, but it's probably heavy enough. Just going to let it down close to the ground so it'll just tumble away. Might as well have it on the ground so you ain't gonna put my back out. That water poured in the block is just about blocked off, or half blocked off, so it's a good thing it's all coming apart so we can clean it up. There's the matching part of it. Looks like a little dog poo in there. Okay, this is the stub shaft that went through the bottom of the radiator to drive the hydraulic pump. This part of the drive assembly is worn right off. It's just nothing but nubs. Used to look like this gear, and this chain is garbage, but none of this is going back on the machine. This I'll keep for sure, because that's a good drive shaft for that purpose. Maybe someday I'll be able to, if I needed one, I'll just have to redo this coupler. We'll keep it. You'll have to get the ratchet, take that bottom one off because my impact can't fit in there. Well, by the look of it, that should just tap off of there, but might need a bigger bar. Yeah, that's all it took. A little bit more purchase. But yeah, that's a, whoa. I don't know if you can see it with the camera, but man, oh man, that nut has been chiseled so badly. It's a good thing this is over top of it to hide that. Man, that's bad. Yeah, there's the water pump. Impeller looks good, and it still rotates. Cavity is full of rust, of course. And I think I need a new pulley. All broke off on the inside flange. I think it's the same as the D4 pulley. Well, we'll need a new belt. This one is pretty well rotted where they're sitting on the pulleys. Well, that wasn't on there very tight. Of course, when you chisel them on, you never get them tight. You just cut your nuts apart. I notice on this D2 engine, and probably any other D2 that I looked at, twin shivs on the front, and I don't know what the second shiv is for. So maybe somebody can make a comment on what that second shiv is for. Too big to drive a generator. Well, it's not even a nut. It's some sort of a bolt, but it's sure been beat up. Maybe this is originally the ramping area there. They put a crank through. You could turn the crank over, the engine over for servicing or something. I don't know. It's been all mangled anyway. So we'll reuse it. We can just clean her up and go from there. And that's going to fall. All right, that's the pan that holds the radiator up. So it's coming apart. All right, oh, you're gonna go. Don't take much to keep her happy. Well, I didn't get as far as I wanted to get with this project, the Legacy project. I just love the name Cat puts on their old vintage parts, whatever, legacy parts, legacy equipment. And anyway, I didn't get as far as I wanted to, and that's another thing there. It's what happens when you're a shade tree mechanic. Got no real time set, so do a little work, play with the dog, you know, but we'll get her done. So I'm just going to stop here, and then we'll pick up again on it tomorrow. Hopefully you'll pop in and follow along then. Bye for now.